So I'm not going to prove it, but I can tell you that the related links are similar to the photo links. Each of them has a unique text, and it's difficult to hide. So, I mean, you can hide each one, but it wouldn't be worth it. So the related links are stories that they think that might be related to this story that you might want to read. But I'm not going to hide it. So I'm going to go on.
Ezekiel said he knew he was safe when he saw his neighbor, who he calls left quote big dog, right quote arrived at the school, left quote I saw you and ran up to you and just jumped on you and I knew that you were going to pick me up, so I just jumped, right quote little Ezekiel told Roughton on CNN, left quote and you picked me up and I just started hugging you really hard and I was crying a little bit and I was happy I survived, right quote. Graphic A teacher hugs a child at Briarwood Elementary School after a tornado destroyed the school in South Oklahoma City, Monday, May 20,
Now here's something we can hide. It is a photo with a caption, and we can hide this.
Blank, you picked me up, blank. Graphic A teacher hugs a child at Briarwood Elementary School at blank. Heading level 4 Paul Elstern / Associated Press.
So it gives the byline, it gives the credit to the photographer. So let's see what we can do to hide this.
Blank, graphic A teacher hugs a child at Briarwood Elementary School at.
Now some people may want to, may want to know that there are photos. This is an individual choice, but I'm going to do this for the sake of the demo. See if we can hide this whole thing, the graphic and the credits. So we're going to do insert, space, and then X.
Flexible web dialog. What would you like to do? Create a new customization radio button check.
Yes.
Enter. How would you like to customize the page? Hide an element radio button check.
Yes, I want to hide it.
Enter. Which of the following elements would you like to customize? List box. Graphic A teacher hugs a child at Briarwood Elementary School after a tornado.
This is the one I want to customize, but there's some interesting choices. If I go down arrow.
Div with class equals quote story dash in quote.
Div with class equals story image. That is a little bit broader, and it might encompass the graphic and the byline, the credit. So I'm going to hit enter on this.
Enter. Select the customization list box. Hide div 2 from the top with class equals quote story dash in quote.
That's a possibility.
Hide all divs with class equals quote story dash in quote.
I like that better because if I want to hide this one graphic and photo and byline, I probably want to hide them all. So I'm going to hit enter on this.
Enter. Left quote when we got to the school it was.
So you heard that plain, that means the rule was applied.
Left quote when we told left quote good hug as much as he did not.
So let's see if we can find that photo and that graphic. I'm going to up arrow.
Told left quote blank. Roughton said he embraced help ease the scenes of destruction in the blank. Link related Oklahoma teacher and husband described scene at school. Blank. You picked me up and I just started hugging you really hard and I was crying a little bit and I was happy.
So it's gone. We have a related link.
Blank. Link related Oklahoma teacher and husband described scene at school.
But we don't have the photo anymore or the byline.
Blank. Roughton said he embraced help ease the scenes of destruction and.
So I'll read a couple more sentences, but I think we've shown both hiding an element and starting to read, and we'll test it with another article. Well, let's see if there's anything else we can get.
Roughton said he embraced help ease the scenes of destruction in the background, if only for a moment. Left quote when we got to the school it was pretty much chaos and destruction and people were just running in all directions trying to find their children. Right quote Roughton told left quote Good Morning America right quote Wednesday. Left quote it was really a surreal event. The reunion was pretty special. He wasn't hurt. I felt like I needed that hug as much as he did. Right quote link related tornado more powerful than Hiroshima bomb. The two neighbors came.
So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go back to the list and find another article, and see if what we did is going to help.
Hey Rick?
Yes.
Can you use that to hide like Facebook and Twitter? Like those, because there's every single article has like some kind of social
I think we
media.
did.
So that's already
It just
been
jumps
hidden?
past it. I don't think he made it so that it goes
Oh,
right
so
to
that goes-
the article
so it doesn't
and
hide it,
passes
it just
all
doesn't.
that.
Okay,
It doesn't
got
read
it.
it. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Right.
awesome.
Now, in different news outlets, all those Facebook links may be in different places.
Right.
But in the Daily News one, it's between the heading and the beginning of the article.
Ah,
So we were able to get rid of it that way.
fantastic.
So I'm going to go back. Can anyone, besides our techies up here, can anyone tell me the keystroke to go back to the previous page?
Anybody?
Oh,
Anybody?
I'll,
You got one of them.
how to say, back arrow?
Left arrow.
Yeah,
That's
there you
right.
go.
That's right.
Great.
Back.
This is when I get a beer.
Flexible web dialog. You have created temporary flexible web customizations. If you continue without saving them, these customizations will be lost. Would you like to save your temporary customizations? Yes button.
So it reminded me
Flexible web dial.
that I didn't save my last rule.
Great.
So that's a good thing because I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes button.
So I do want to save it. So I'm going to hit
Enter. Save temporary customizations dialog. Rule name : edit Alt plus R.
So I'm going to call this hide all
All.
images.
Images. Enter.
That's a lot of images.
I'm tempted to start singing Embrace Me, My Sweet Embraceable You.
Something. Come on,
Ooh,
computer.
there must be a lot of images on that page.
Wow.
Sorry.
So,
Yeah, that's fine.
how are we enjoying the weather out, folks?
No Windows active. Press Alt Q.
Okay, there you go.
Alt tab. Java Auto Updater is requesting your permission.
That's why.
Java update available. Alt tab. New York news, local video, traffic, weather, nice city, schools, and photos.
So let's see, we'll pick an article here. I'm going to hit the H key.
HH. Title is New York news. Top of file. Yes button.
Oh, what's this?
Flexible web dialog. Yes button. No button. You have created temporary flexible web customizations. If you continue without saving
What are
them.
you trying to?
Well, let's see.
Yes button.
We'll try it again.
Enter. Save temporary customizations dialog. Rule name : edit Alt plus R.
Okay.
Let's see.
H.
Daily
Daily.
news,
News.
hide
Hide.
all
All.
images.
Images. Enter.
We did this before.
Yeah.
No Windows active. Press Win Alt tab. New York news, local video, traffic.
It didn't
Top of file. Blank.
It hasn't loaded the page. Maybe because you have that UAC up, it's not letting you,
You think? Maybe we should.
Title is New York news, local video.
yeah, because it's not letting you get to the page.
Alt tab. Desktop. Alt tab. New York news. Alt tab. Desktop. Alt tab. New York news, local video.
Weird.
Sherry, remember what you said about,
F5.
no glitches?
F5.
Here they are.
F5 is the, for those of you
Refresh
who don't know,
key,
it's the
yeah.
refresh button.
Yeah.
Welcome to demo mode, Rick.
We were so happy this afternoon. We said, oh, and we jinxed ourselves.
Yes.
Because we said, oh, nothing happened. It
No
was so
Windows active.
lovely.
Press Alt tab.
So we
Desktop. Alt tab.
apologize,
New York
folks.
news, local video, traffic. Web.
Rick, you may want to shut IE and then start it again.
Alt home.
Yeah.
It's just a little fried.
Yeah.
Alt F4. AVG. PC Analyzer link on mouse.
Editing.
Windows 1. Windows Internet Explorer. View favorites, feeds, and history. Left parent Alt plus C right parent. New tab page. Privacy policy link.
I've got my home page. We'll see. We'll get back to the New York Daily News here.
Control O. Open dialog. N. Event Y. C. Daily news. Period. Com. Enter. Edit. This page will automatically refresh in 300 seconds. New York news, local video, traffic, weather, nice city, schools, and photos. Home page 9 daily news. RSS feeds. Page has 4 frames, 1 heading, and 15 links. New York new.
Now, it should have played a little because we have rules, but I'm going to hit the H key, see if we can get there.
New York heading level 1. Blood on his hand. Boston Marathon. Tale of survival. Boy 7. Tale of survival. They died in each other's arms. 29-year-old best friends perished together when Oklahoma teacher earns A for amazing. Hero protected her students during tornado dispatch.
All right, we're going to hit enter on this and see what it should do is eventually, after it loads, it should automatically start reading at the place where we said the beginning of the article
Enter.
was.
They died in each other's arms. 9-year-old best friends Antonia Lee Candelaria and Emily Conitzer perished together when the tornado that struck Oklahoma flattened their school. Candelaria's mom said, visited link. To Aqua, 9-year-old best friends died in each other's arms. -9 Daily News, RSS feeds. Page has 1 frame, 4 headings and 37 links. RSS feeds. Page has 3 frames, 7 headings and 62 links. Link Oklahoma can't expect more storms Tuesday after deadly tornado. They died in each other's arms. 9-year-old best friends Antonia Lee Candelaria and Emily Conitzer perished together when the tornado that struck Oklahoma flattened their school. Candelaria's mom said, link photos : tornadoes wreak havoc throughout Central Plains. Left quote, there were little marks, imprints and tiny scratch on her forearm like.
So we don't need to read all this.
Little.
But it did start at the beginning of the article. Now, it took a while to download. You heard it playing a couple times. But it did sort itself out. And it did start reading where it was supposed to be. So you can see that it bypassed all the Facebook frames and the gadgets and the widgets, and it began to read in the right place. And if we were to continue to read, we would find that it wouldn't have some of the photos and the credits that we hid. But I think we're going to take it on faith because it's tough to read tough to read this
The rest
stuff.
of it,
Yeah.
But does anybody have any questions before we move to the next segment?
Yes, I do.
Sure.
My name is Derek. I have JAWS 13, version 13.
Yes.
And I know you're alluding to when you're talking about JAWS 14. Is there anything I can do in 13 that's comparable to what you've done this evening?
Yes, you can use the old-fashioned
Yes.
N key,
Yep.
which is the N as in Nancy.
Okay.
When you get to the heading, which is the beginning of the article, it's the heading, the headline, you can hit the N key and it will bypass links. And it will bypass, graphics or forms, and it will eventually, you may have to do it more than once,
Right.
but eventually you will get to the beginning text of the article unless the text is a link. Unless the beginning of the article is a link, which happens occasionally.
Right.
But most of the time, articles begin with the text. And once you begin, if you know the site well enough, then you'll be able to figure out what the beginning of an article sounds like. And so you'll know when to stop hitting the N key.
Right. Okay.
Rick, would place markers work there? Could you put a place marker where you think? No, maybe?
It could.
Okay.
I would assume
say
that because there's going to be like a different number of links or different number of lines.
Okay. You may not be able to put it in the same
and a
place each
marker
time.
may
Okay.
overjump or
It may work one day and then the next day.
That's okay,
Yeah.
okay.
it wouldn't be consistent.
And that's why they wrote this code, is because place markers tend to work on pages that never change.
Right.
But because of the nature of newspapers, they change every day.
Yeah.
Every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's correct.
Every 4.
Rick, I have a question.
Sure.
A lot of times when you're reading on a website, you have a link to an article, an ad comes up before you get to the link. Does the flexible web allow you to bypass the ad before you get to the link?
Yes, you can ask it to bypass pretty much anything on the page. I can ask it to hide all frames, which would include it. Most ads occur in advertising frames. So if there's an ad, I can ask the flexible web feature to bypass it. The key is to make it broad enough so that tomorrow, it'll know to bypass
Yes.
something. Because if I make it too narrow, it'll only bypass what I'm reading today in this article. So it takes a little trial and error.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, I'm going to pass the torch and the mic.
Torch.
I'm going to pass it to Lynette, who's going to talk about Umana.